Your cat is looking at you right now, or they did this morning, or last night before you fell asleep. That long, slow, deliberate blink. Eyes closing halfway, holding, then opening again. Like they're communicating something just beyond the edge of what you can understand. You've seen it 100 times. You probably smiled. Maybe blinked back without really knowing why. But here's what nobody tells you. That moment, that single quiet blink, is actually one of the most profound things your cat will ever say to you. And if you've never understood what it really means, you've been receiving a message for years and only half hearing it. Most people think the slow blink is just a cat being relaxed, drowsy, comfortable. And that's not wrong. But it is dangerously incomplete. Because what's actually happening in that moment goes far deeper than comfort. It reaches back thousands of years into the evolutionary wiring of a predator that never fully domesticated. And it involves a level of trust so profound that most cat owners, when they finally understand it, wish they'd known from the very first day. This isn't a sleepy cat. This isn't a content cat doing nothing in particular. This is your cat making a choice. A conscious, deliberate, deeply significant choice about you. About what you mean to them. About what they're willing to risk in your presence. And once you understand that choice, everything changes. How you sit with your cat, how you look at them, how you respond, and most importantly, how deeply you feel the relationship you've actually been building all along without realizing it. Stay with me, because point 5 is going to stop you completely. It's something researchers discovered that most cat owners find genuinely emotional when they hear it. It reframes not just the slow blink, but every quiet moment you've ever shared with your cat in a room where nothing was happening. I'll get there. But first, let's start at the beginning. Point 1. It is not drowsiness. It is disarmament. Common belief. Your cat slow blinks because they're sleepy or zoned out. Here's the truth. Closing your eyes is the most dangerous thing a predator can do. Think about that for a moment. A cat's entire survival for thousands of years before your sofa existed depended on constant visual awareness. Threats come fast. Prey moves without warning. An open eye is a safe eye. A closed eye is a vulnerability. So when your cat closes their eyes, fully, slowly, deliberately in your presence, they are not doing nothing. They are actively overriding one of the most powerful survival instincts they possess. They are choosing to be temporarily blind in front of you. That is not drowsiness. That is disarmament. They are laying down a weapon, the constant visual vigilance that keeps them alive, and placing it at your feet. In the wild, cats only close their eyes fully around animals they trust completely. Colony members, bonded companions, creatures they have decided, at the deepest instinctual level, will not hurt them while their guard is down. Your cat has placed you in that category. Not because you feed them, not because you're warm, because something in their ancient wiring has assessed you over days, weeks, months, years, and reached a verdict. Safe. Completely safe. Safe enough to close my eyes. Point 2. Science calls it a kiss. Common belief. Blinking is just a physical reflex. It doesn't mean anything directed. In 2020, researchers at the University of Sussex and the University of Portsmouth published a landmark study in Scientific Reports. They examined the slow blink in domestic cats, testing whether it was a random behavior or a deliberate social signal. What they found was unambiguous. Cats slow blink significantly more at their owners than at strangers. They slow blink more in positive social contexts than neutral ones. And, most remarkably, when humans slow blinked at cats first, the cats were measurably more likely to approach the human afterward. The slow blink is not random. It is not reflexive. It is communicative. The researchers described it as a positive emotional signal, a form of social bonding expression unique to the cat-human relationship. Some of the scientists involved began calling it informally what cat owners had suspected for years. A kiss. Not in the human sense, but in the deepest animal sense, a gesture of warmth, of recognition, of chosen connection offered from one being to another. Your cat has been kissing you, quietly, repeatedly, across years of ordinary evenings in ordinary rooms, and most owners never knew. Point 3. Where you look matters more than you think. Common belief. A slow blink is a slow blink. The details don't matter. They do, enormously. Watch your cat the next time they blink at you. Notice not just the blink, but where their gaze rests before and after it. A cat that looks directly at you, blinks, and then continues to hold your gaze is expressing something different from a cat that looks at you, blinks, and then looks away. Direct gaze held before and after the blink. This is active communication. Your cat is speaking to you specifically. They want you to receive the message. Gaze that softens and drifts after the blink. This is contentment so deep that maintaining focus becomes unnecessary. You are so safe, so known, so completely part of their world that they don't need to monitor you anymore. Both are profound, but they say different things. There is also a third variation that most owners miss entirely, the half blink, where the eyes close only halfway, hovering in that drowsy middle state, and stay there. This is your cat in a state of such complete security that their body is caught between alertness and rest, unable to fully commit to either because both feel equally safe. They trust the environment completely. They trust you completely. Their nervous system has nowhere left to go but peace. Watch for this one. It is the rarest, and it is the most beautiful thing a cat can show you. Point 4. How to blink back and why most people do it wrong. Common belief. You just close your eyes and open them again. Simple. Not quite. The University of Sussex study didn't just document the cat's slow blink. It tested the human slow blink in return and found that how you blink back dramatically affects how your cat responds. Here is exactly how to do it correctly. First, soften your face before you begin. Tension in your facial muscles reads as a threat to a cat. A furrowed brow, a tight jaw, a fixed stare. Even subtle versions of these counteract everything the blink is trying to say. Relax your forehead. Let your jaw drop slightly. Make your whole face say, "Nothing here is a danger." Second, make eye contact, but not the hard staring kind. Look at your cat with what researchers call a soft gaze, slightly unfocused, warm, without the intensity of a direct predator stare. Hard eye contact in the animal world means challenge. Soft eye contact means recognition. Third, close your eyes slowly. Not a blink, a closing. Let it take 1 full second. Hold the closed position for 1 second. Then open just as slowly. Fourth, and this is the part most people skip, after you open your eyes, look away. Break the gaze gently, look to the side. This tells your cat, "I am not watching you. I am not a threat. You are completely safe here." The study found that cats who received this full sequence were significantly more likely to approach the human afterward, moving closer, initiating contact, choosing proximity over distance. You have just spoken your cat's language, fluently, for the first time. If you've ever slow blinked at your cat without knowing why, just following some instinct that it felt right, you were already speaking this language. You just didn't know it yet. That's exactly why this channel exists. Faunasense is for the people who feel something in their relationship with their animal, who sense there's more being said than they can fully hear, and who want to close that gap. If that's you, subscribe. Not for the algorithm, but because every week we go a little deeper into what your animal has been trying to tell you. And there is so much more they've been saying. Hit the bell, too. You won't want to miss what's coming next. Point 5. The moment researchers didn't expect. Common belief. Cats respond to slow blinks because they're trained or conditioned to associate them with positive things. This is the point I promised you at the beginning. When the Sussex researchers looked more closely at their data, they found something they hadn't predicted. Cats slowly blinked back at humans, even in first encounters, with strangers they had never met, in unfamiliar environments with no established history of positive association. A human they had never seen before sat quietly, made soft eye contact, and slowly blinked. And a significant number of cats with no prior relationship with this person, slow blinked back. This means the slow blink is not learned. It is not conditioned. It is not a behavior your cat developed because blinking happened to coincide with something good. It is instinctive. It is cross-species, and it appears to be genuinely mutual, a form of communication that both cats and humans share at a level below conscious thought, below training, below the history of any individual relationship.
Something in a cat recognizes something in a human who offers this gesture. And something in that cat responds not because it was taught to, but because it simply knows how. Think about what that means. The first time your cat ever slow blinked at you before they knew you well, before trust was fully built, before all the years of shared mornings and quiet evenings, some part of them already recognized you as safe. They were reaching toward you from the very beginning. Point 6, when your cat stops blinking at you, common belief. If your cat isn't slow blinking at you, they're just not a blinky cat. Personality difference, nothing more. Pay closer attention. Cats who have stopped slow blinking at an owner they previously blinked at regularly are communicating something important. This is not a personality quirk. This is a signal. Something has shifted in how safe they feel. It might be environmental, a change in the home, a new animal, a disrupted routine. Anything that has raised your cat's baseline anxiety will suppress the slow blink. A cat in a state of low-level stress cannot fully lower their guard. The slow blink requires a level of ease that anxiety prevents. It might be relational. If interactions have become more forceful, if you've been picking them up when they'd rather not, approaching them in ways that feel unpredictable, responding to them with frustration, your cat may have quietly reclassified the safety level of your presence. Not permanently, not irreversibly, but it is a message. And here is the quietly devastating thing about this. Cats don't complain. They don't protest loudly or make their feelings obvious. They simply withdraw. Quietly, incrementally. The slow blinks become less frequent, then rare, then absent. And most owners don't notice until the warmth has been missing for a long time. If your cat has stopped blinking at you, sit with them. Be still. Make your face soft. Offer the gesture. Give them time. Trust can be quietly rebuilt the same way it is quietly lost, one slow blink at a time. Point 7, the rooms where slow blinks happen most. Common belief, slow blinks happen randomly wherever the cat happens to be. Watch where they happen. Slow blinks cluster in specific environments, and those environments tell you exactly what your cat needs to feel safe enough to offer this gesture. They happen most often in quiet rooms. Not silent cats are comfortable with the ambient sounds of a home, but quiet in terms of unpredictability. A room where nothing startles, where movement is familiar and slow. They happen most often at floor level, when you are sitting or lying down, when your size has reduced and you are no longer towering above them, your cat's nervous system relaxes measurably. Getting low is one of the most powerful things you can do to invite connection with a cat. They happen most often in the evening, not because cats are more affectionate at night, but because the day's unpredictability has settled. The door has stopped opening. The noise has reduced. The environment has become known and stable and safe. And in that safety, the slow blink becomes possible. If you want more slow blinks from your cat, build more of these moments. Lower yourself, quiet the room, move slowly, make yourself smaller and more predictable in their world. You are not waiting for your cat to choose to connect with you. You are creating the conditions in which that choice becomes possible. So the next time your cat finds you in a quiet room, holds your gaze for a moment longer than usual, and closes their eyes slowly. Don't just smile and look away. Understand what you are being given. This animal, whose ancestors hunted alone, whose instincts were built for a world of constant threat, whose survival depended for thousands of years on never letting their guard down, has looked at you, specifically you, and decided that you are the exception. You are the place where vigilance is no longer necessary. You are the one being on earth in whose presence they are willing to close their eyes. That is not a small thing. That is not a quirk or a habit or a coincidence of comfort. That is love, expressed in the only language they have, offered quietly, repeatedly across every ordinary evening they have ever shared with you. And all you have to do to tell them you received it, that you understood, that you feel exactly the same, is close your eyes slowly back. They'll know what it means. They always did.